Hello and welcome to Shawn White's Solar and Energy Storage Podcast at RE. Hello and welcome to Shawn White's Solar and Energy Storage Podcast. We are recording live from the Power Up Live Pro Studio presented by Terra Hive. Thanks to RE Plus and Suncast Media for hosting us. And thanks to our very special guest, another Shawn. You have Shawns here. This other Shawn is Shawn O'Brien, the very famous president and CEO of NABCEP. Welcome, Shawn.
Oh, thank you, Shawn White. It's good to be here on the Shawn and Shawn Show.
Yeah, the Shawn and Shawn Show. We should do this more often. And it isn't our first time doing this, so anybody could tune into that. We'll put a link in there. So there's lots going on with NABCEP, I hear. And first of all, the fun parts maybe we should talk about is the big NABCEP conference. It's always like everybody's highlight of the year. It's a pretty fun thing. And I guess it's going to be in Milwaukee this year?
That's correct. In Milwaukee at the Baird Center.
All right, at the Baird Center.
Yep.
And that's the home of Fonzie and Laverne and Shirley. And it's a pretty cool place. And do I get to still open up the karaoke?
Oh, yeah.
I got to do that the last couple of times.
We're going to have some surprises, additional surprises on Monday night during the opening reception. I won't give it away, but...
What if we torture you or something? I have some thumb screws in my pocket, maybe.
I'll tell you, it has something to do with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, okay. All right.
In an entertainment way.
It's like it's a beer-drinking baseball team, the Brewers.
There's lots of that goes on.
At a NABCEP conference. Imagine that. So any other stuff about the conference? Like I know every year there's a theme. And so this last one was Alice in Wonderland. And before that was the 80s.
Yep.
And how about, what's the theme this year?
Well, Tuesday of the conference is St. Patty's Day. So we'll be doing a St. Patrick's themed night. Everyone can jump up, dress up as leprechauns. All
right. Well, a couple of Shawns could be doing that, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I would be disowned by my family if I didn't have something for St. Patrick's Day, considering my last name.
Yeah, I was raised with a green wig, so and a green hat, and my mom always dressed me up like a leprechaun since I was born. So
there you go.
A little bit of orange hair.
Yeah, and so the serious side of it is there'll be over 80 technical sessions going on during the 3.5 days. You'll be presenting the PV associate training for 3.5 days.
Thanks for letting me do that again.
With Heat Spring. Yeah. That's looking good. So when it comes to it, the registration fee is probably less than most of the other shows around the country, and you can get 24 hours of technical training, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. 3 hours of open bar, lots of networking, so it's good. It's you have Intersolar, you have RE Plus, with thousands of people, but this is a nice network of 1,200 people or so, 150 exhibitors, but it's a lot of networking with folks who are on the roof or own their companies, and so it's...
Yeah, and it's pretty much 3 meals a day, so you don't have to think about eating or anything because it's all taken care of. It's good food, coffee, everything you need for those days, and then all of your best friends. And it's a lot of people in the industry. The best people in the industry are NABCEP certified. And if you're not NABCEP certified, what's your problem?
I asked the same question, but it's growing.
Yeah.
It's growing. So we have 28,000 or so across all our certifications, 28,000. So just opened up an office about 1.5 years ago in the Caribbean for St. Kitts. So with the NABCEP Caribbean, we've had the office in the Middle East in Amman, Jordan, and we're looking to open up one in hopefully in Mexico.
Awesome.
Soon, so.
Okay, cool. And another thing that I think about, just like what makes the conference so cool, is just it's the type of people that get NABCEP certified. They're smart, they mean well, they're hardworking. Because they got to pass a test, they have to study, so they're not lazy, they're not slackers, they're not trying to get away with something, and they're just really good people, and it's just good people to be around, and that's why it's like always everybody's highlight, except for RE Plus, where we are right now. We're all here too. Yeah.
It's a good size show here. Yeah, it's interesting you say that. For our technical sessions, we have subject matter expert presenting information on a variety of things. But there's also a group of subject matter experts that attends every training because, they've been in the industry 20 years and know what they're doing. So some of the presentations can actually get interesting where you end up having sometimes debates within themselves within the training sessions where someone in the audience will say, well, what if I connected this to that instead of, this way, how will it work? And, well, when I've tried it it's really interesting. It's not just the presenter, just giving information. It's almost like a give and take even so it's very audience participation.
Great. And so how long have you been running NABCEP for?
I've been the CEO of NABCEP since November of 2016, so coming up on 9 years.
Okay, so we're just going up. So next year will be your 10th year.
Yeah.
We should celebrate that with all the leprechauns.
I didn't even think about it.
But I kind of liked how you ran NABCEP and got it so we could be taking these exams all over the world online, live online proctoring and all that kind of stuff. It seemed very helpful for a lot of people around the world. I remember before I was teaching a lot of classes internationally, and it was just like they would have to get a visa to come here to take a test. So it's really changed a lot of people's lives. So thanks for that.
Technology has helped a lot, and I've always, Sam Walton had a quote, "Work smarter, not harder." So it's like, okay, let's take advantage of all the technology that's out there. As long as it can be delivered in a secure manner, protecting intellectual property of the exams, which it does, then why not let people test all over the world?
Great. Yeah, and it's kind of like one of the things that I've noticed too is just even since COVID, people are just a lot more comfortable doing things online that before they were like, no, I have to do this in person.
Yeah.
And it can be kind of convenient to, a lot of my classes are on demand online, so they could just take whenever they want. And, 5 minutes in a grocery line if they want to. So.
Yeah, and I think the next step for that online training and things of that nature is I think we're going to, the next few years, see a lot more of simulation, online simulation. So, the in-person trainings were great because you could always have that hands-on experience as well with a lab or something. Yeah. But that kind of goes away with online training to a degree. But I've seen more and more, and we're working with a company out of North Carolina called Energy Center, and they're building simulations for kind of like Interplay had at the time. But this is more even basic entry level. Like even the first simulations I saw, they were just, okay, where does the panel go? Where's the inverter go? Where's the battery go? And then they put in, but it's all, that's like drag and drop type stuff. But then they're building more and more sophisticated demos and samples to have a little bit of that hands-on with an online class.
Yeah, and for Interplay, just a shout out to Mark Burrows, who passed away this last year, who did a lot of that, 3D stuff for Interplay Learning, I guess it was called. So for solar training, so that was pretty neat. So what else is going on at NABCEP?
It's been a busy year already, a year and a half, I would say. We just about ready to launch the new PV Associate exam in the JTA. So we'll be sending that out to all the approved registered trainers for the associate, like yourself, all the others.
Okay.
So that you can look at it and see how it aligns with the trainings you have, and maybe make some adjustments to the training so they align with that job task analysis. And then the exams will be released. We'll give everyone about 3 months or so to get their training, and then we'll release the exam. And that exam now, the associate level now has an operation and maintenance credential. So now we have a new associate level called the Operation and Maintenance Associate Technician.
Oh, when can
that's
people
going to come
take
out
that exam?
probably in about a couple months as well. It's ready now. We'll send out that job task analysis to all the trainers so they can look at it. But I know there's a few already that have developed. I think Amicus actually has one that they're working with, HeatSpring, Amicus O&M Cooperative. I believe they're working with HeatSpring on that. But there'll be a lot more.
Great.
And we think that's, we worked with Amicus O&M Cooperative and with several other of the larger O&M companies. And so this associate credential for operation maintenance should fit nicely with what they refer to as like Tech 1, that entry level into O&M. Very similar to the current PV associate.
Okay, good. All right. So there's going to be multiple associate credentials, and I guess there already is other ones that are not as popular, like solar thermal, right? Is there a solar thermal associate?
There is. We just sunset the solar wind associate, so there just wasn't enough. It was a small wind, associate credential. And the solar heating we're keeping for now, but yeah, there's very few people doing that.
Yeah, I thought it might be fun just to take one of those. So I guess I missed out on the wind. I blew that one.
You've taken a lot of them. Yeah, so we did the PV associate. We just finished the PV installation professional, our main sports certification. Job task analysis just completed. We'll be meeting with the exam committees over the next 2 months to reclassify all the items to the new job task analysis. We'll get that out. So that exam will probably be launched sometime in Q1 or Q2. And so we have that.
Okay.
Well, back to the associate. Well, our energy storage installation professional, we're about to launch probably in a month, less than a month, the Spanish version of that exam. So folks.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Bueno.
It'll be presented in a dual language, so English and Spanish, but they can toggle back and forth between the two languages. So
that's kind of neat. So does that mean that the English-speaking people could toggle
if they wanted
to
to look at the Spanish, sure.
You never know how some kind of translation might help you.
You just don't want to run out of time. You only have so much time. Yeah, it should help with the stuff we're doing in Latin America. We have some trainers in Colombia and areas, and in south of Florida, California, Puerto Rico. So we had folks work on it, on the translation, representing various dialects of Spanish. So we had someone from Colombia, Mexico, Puerto Rico, United States, and so it should cover all areas as far as the translation.
Yeah, I did a lot of work translating my PV associate class on heat spring into Spanish, and I mean I didn't do it myself, but I found some translators to do it that were experts. A lot of them I found by looking on the NABCEP locator for people in Mexico. And then I found some people that translated it, and it was a lot of work. And we at first tried doing it with AI, and it just didn't do it.
Yeah, that won't work.
Like we're like, oh, this is great. This AI is great, and then you have a native speaker check it out, and they're like, oh, that's terrible.
So that we did a translation with the native speakers. There was 4 of them on the committee, and then we did a back translation just to make sure. And then we did a final, again, sort of go through it individually. They did, and just to make sure.
We interrupt you for a very important announcement. Shawn White's Solar and Energy Storage Podcast has been brought to you by Shawn White's Solar and Energy Storage Podcast. That's right, Shawn White is sponsoring his own podcast, and he wants to remind you to go check out some of his classes. You can go to SolarSEAN, that's Solar, SEAN.com, and then click on the links to check out his classes. You can check out his heat spring classes, and you can also hire him to teach classes for you, like at your company, something like that. Now back to the show.
So for the ESIP, for the Spanish version, how does that work with the National Electrical Code open book and also NFPA 855 and all that?
That they're going to have to get either, because you're allowed to bring those into the exam room, so they'll have to use either get a Spanish version. I don't know if there's one available. I'm not sure.
I think for the NEC you can get Spanish versions, but I don't think so. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I would be surprised if 855 was in Spanish.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or if 70E, safety, workplace safety, 70E would be in there.
Spanish. So they'll have to work through that. But if the exam was and then when we're done doing that and the PVIP, because we'll have all that, because the PVIP, so we'll have new versions of the PV installation professional, the PV design specialist, the PV commission and maintenance specialist, and the installation specialist. So we'll have 4 new exams coming out Q1, Q2 for all of those. PVA will all be up. The operation and maintenance associate technician will be up. And so we'll start working on the PV technical sales, new job task analysis for that, and then start working on the Spanish translations for the associate in the ONAT. So we'll be getting those in. There's a lot of associate training, as you mentioned earlier, that happens internationally, particularly in Spanish-speaking countries. So we'll be looking at that. And then there's a possibility we actually may do some translation on the associate into French.
French. Oui. All right. That's interesting.
We're exploring a partnership in Canada that would require us to have that translated into French. So
interesting.
We're looking into that. So that might be.
Yeah, and maybe like Mandarin Chinese would be.
We'll see.
Good percentage of the world, you know?
Yeah. You would.
Great.
We're looking into that. So, yep, what's happening with that's pretty much it that's happening with the examination programs. It's takes up a lot of staff time. You know, we're a small staff. We're only really 8.5 people. One half-timer. So between the conference, which, by the way, registration for the conference opened up this morning.
Oh, it did?
So it's open for people to register for the conference. It's still the early bird, so you save quite a bit. And for everything you get that we just spoke about a few minutes ago, it more than covers, actually you get more than what you pay to come.
Okay, great.
Just at the food alone, so all the education's free.
Yeah, and another good thing, too, is to sign up for the hotel room ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I signed up for mine. I think it was the first day it became available. I was trying earlier, and I couldn't get it was like the whole hotel's booked a year early. And then Ursula at NABCEP told me, I think I emailed her, she was like, it's opening up tomorrow. And so I got a good room. So it's always good to get a good room so you don't have to walk too far, because you can get tired at these conferences.
Yeah.
Things going on early in the morning and later at the evening.
Yeah, and we have a conference hotel is the Hilton, which is right across the street, but there's a bridge that connects the hotel to the conference center, convention center, so be easy to get through.
And it will probably all the rooms get booked, I guess, and then some people will have to find a different hotel.
Sometimes, yeah. Usually that happens. You can only get a certain size block of it, but we have a pretty good size block at the Hilton, so we'll be able to accommodate most everyone. But
great. Yeah.
There will be people. You want to do it early. You can always cancel your reservation if you change with any hotel. But as long as you book your room early, then you have the room at least ready if you attend. So.
Great. Okay. So I know that NABCEP is headquartered upstate New York. And do you get involved much with like NYSERDA and all that kind of stuff?
We do at some level, yeah.
And that's
we've had NYSERDA grants to help develop.
And I think that stands for New York Solar Energy something or other, I guess,
Renewable Energy,
Okay. And so what is it? NYSERDA, I guess, something like that. And then I believe, too, that they have certain grants that require people to have the PVIP and the ESIP.
Yep. NYSERDA has some. There's some utilities that have that requirement that, or if you have the NABCEP certification, particularly the PV installation professional, the PVIP, then there's a rebate. There's some city of Austin, Texas has a program. I believe if it's installed by PVIP, then the homeowner can get, for residential, can get $3,000. So there's a lot of them across the country like that, not just NYSERDA, that have something aligned with our certifications and either rebates and things like that. And I think more and more of that is going to come to light. I spoke to a gentleman today who does work in Austin and didn't know about the rebate program. But as IRA is going away, people are going to then be looking to states and the state programs and even cities and the city programs, because the one in Austin is a city ordinance.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to think if it was about like 3 or 4 years ago that somebody approached me and they said, I don't like online classes. I want to do a live class. And I said, well, find all the people and I'll do the class. And if you find enough people, you don't even have to pay for it. And he did. His name's Cameron Ferry. He ended up becoming a good friend of mine. I actually stayed at his apartment in the city when I was teaching a class in Manhattan a week and a half ago. And so I did a PVIP class there. It was right over in Westchester County, which is just right outside of New York City. And then somebody else approached me recently, and they want me to do a class in Buffalo for the ESIP.
Okay.
And I said, let's do it. And I told him what this guy Cameron did. So he's trying to do that, and he's trying to round up a bunch of people to do an ESIP class in Buffalo. So if anybody's listening, maybe we could organize that. So
you do teach quite a bit, Shawn. And it's interesting. people send me emails, or I know when they put their accomplishment of getting certified, they put it on LinkedIn, and they always make sure they thank you for the great training they had. So you're doing, your students really appreciate the hard work you put into your trainings, and so does NABCEP, because it makes it easier for them to be able to apply and pass the examination. And contrary to what everyone believes, NABCEP wants people to pass the exam. We want them to.
I tell them
we
that,
want
yeah.
a bigger and bigger workforce out there representing the industry, and having your certification is one way to show to the public that you've been vetted, you know what you're doing, and the system's gonna hopefully should work the way that they promote it to work. And so having that certification gives that consumer some assurances. Not the homeowner or the CFO of a company is putting a system or a flat roof system on their distribution building or something. Having certified folks work on it helps to protect that investment.
Well, great. Well, that's so nice of you, Shawn O'Brien, for saying all those nice things about me. And I do work really hard, and I try to make my classes fun. One of the ways that I try to make my classes fun is I try to make them funny. And I'm right now getting consulting from the owner of the San Francisco Comedy College, which I'm a graduate of, and his name is Curtis Matthews, and I pay him by the hour to get online with me, and we try to come up with some funny stuff. And part of the trouble though is to make sure that I don't say anything that gets me in trouble. So there.
I'm in the same boat, John. I got to filter what I say better, but it's growing up in Boston, Irish Catholic. You were raised to just say what you feel.
Yeah, must be some of those Irish genes that we share. Yeah,
absolutely. So you have your background. You're a wannabe comedian. You still a pilot?
I have a pilot's license, but I haven't used it in a while, so I need to go get a refresher before I go up in the air.
Travel all over the world, train all over the world. You should write a book someday.
A sailor? Well, I actually just finished my 11th, but
I don't mean
none of it's about the fun
on your
stuff.
life, not on. I know you have quite a few books, and we're actually the one you just did on energy storage came out about a year or so ago. I think you did. Did you
Energy
do it with
Storage
Bill?
Basics.
Yeah, with Bill.
PV and the NEC is our book.
Yeah.
That includes energy storage. So we have a third edition of that, which is based on the 2023 NEC.
Yeah.
And then the next book we're going to write is actually going to be 2 books, because we're going to separate it, PV from energy storage. And that's what I'm going to have to start writing really soon, because the 2026 NEC is going to come out like any minute.
Yep. Yeah, we use several of your books for our committees as
thanks.
Every question we get on exams, you can't just write a question and not have a reference so as far as so that it's accepted practice. The right answer. Wrong answers don't really matter. But we use several of your books as references for the exam.
Great, thanks.
Every question has to have a reference.
Yeah, and it really helps writing books with Bill, because he's super smart and he's been at it for 30-something years. I think eventually it'll be 40 years that he's been doing,
it's needed.
Solar education. And
because we track books when they're published in the industries, because we like to use them for references for our examinations and such. And the two of you are the ones writing the most. I've had a conversation with SCI this morning saying, it would be great if you did a new edition of your that PV book that they have that's really good. But they say they're thinking about it, and then people still use quite a bit Jim Dunlop's book.
Yeah. I studied that thing upside down, inside out.
Yeah, it's a popular book today still, and that's got to be 12 years old.
I think is it 2011 maybe?
Yeah, 14. So I think it's a needed thing. We need more, particularly in energy storage and operation and maintenance, more published references. It just not only being greedy for NABCEP, but just for the industry alone, just to have those resources out there for people to read and learn best practices and things of that nature, on their own. Having publications out there that are relevant and up to date.
Great.
Is a vital thing for the industry.
Yep. Great. Well, it looks like it's about time for us to let somebody else into this booth. Any famous last words?
No, just appreciate it as always. Looking forward to having you at the conference with the training of the PV associate with Heat Spring again this year. Should be fun. I know last year they got a little taste of drone technology.
We had the drone guys come to the class, and I dared them to come flying into the class with the drones, and they did it. So, they probably broke some rules, which I'm fond of once in a while. But.
Yeah, those folks at Scanifly are really, they love flying those drones.
Yeah.
And then you had Nick Mathers came in too,
Yeah,
right?
he came in
From
with
Illumination
his setup.
Solar.
Yeah, that was neat.
So they got to see how things get connected. And
Yeah.
so it's just adding a little fun to your training.
Yeah, gotta keep it fun. All right. Well, thanks for keeping it fun, Shawn O'Brien. And just as a reminder, we are recording live from the Power Up Live Pro Studio presented by Terra Hive. Thanks to RE Plus and Suncast Media for hosting us. And thanks for listening to Shawn White's Solar and Energy Storage Podcast. To find out more, go to SolarSEAN. That's SolarSean.com. And you better believe it's SolarSEAN. It's spelled the right way, right, Shawn?
No.
Shawn is SHAWN. And both ways of spelling Shawn are the best way, I guess, here. And also go to NABCEP, that's NABCEP.org. And you can find my name there. Go to the certified locator or look for some NABCEP training. Thanks a lot. Woo!